29. Quigley is 6 years younger. He's 2 inches taller at 6 foot tall, but Johnson has a slight reach advantage.
All right, it is time for our main event. Let's waste no more time. Let's send it up to the voice of Golden Boy, Jeremiah Gallegos.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event of the evening. This is Thursday Night Fights presented to you by Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and DAZN, our championship attraction for the NABF Middleweight Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our ring walk, and making his way to the blue corner at this time, representing Nassau, Bahamas, Terriano Johnson.
Here's a young man who is very offended. He has 14 knockouts in 23 fights. He does not believe he should be the underdog that he is. And you can see he is all business walking to the ring.
Yeah, I think he feels that he's been judged on his last fight, which took place in February in this very arena. And he was held to a draw by a Mexican journeyman. But he had been out of the ring for a long time, been out of the ring for more than a year, and he had been set to fight David Lemieux on the undercard of a Canelo Alvarez fight in New York City in December, and that fight was pulled out from under him last minute when David Lemieux failed to make weight and was rushed to the hospital. So he was ready for that fight. He had a terrific camp for that. So I think there was a psychological letdown going into his last fight, and he wants to prove to people, hey, that wasn't me. The guy you're going to see tonight is the real me, because he said he's had perfect preparation for Jason Quigley.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, set to make his ring walk. And fighting out of the red corner, he is the reigning and defending undefeated NABF middleweight champion, the fighting pride of Ireland, Jason Quigley.
His nickname is El Animal. One of his biggest knockouts, Jorge Melendez, 144 seconds. But against Glenn Tapia in March of 2017, he suffered a tendon injury to his right hand that led to a year layoff that set his career way back. He now believes that this is his time, and tonight he will take a big-time step forward in his quest for greatness.
Yeah, he lost a lot of momentum while he was having that hand heal, and he also relocated back to Europe, back to Ireland. He changed trainers. He was trained by Manny Robles Jr. here in Southern California, and now he's trained by Dominic Ingle, the son of a British legend, Brendan Ingle, one of the most celebrated trainers in England's history. And Dominic is a world-class trainer. So we'll see if they've had time to gel, and that if Quigley is used to Ingle's system, because I really believe he has to box the performance of his professional career to get the W here tonight.
Well, there's certainly no lack of respect between these two fighters. They both understand how great they are, and now it's time to get after it. Seventh time that Jason Quigley has fought here at Fantasy Springs. You heard him say earlier to Beto, this is my home away from home. I feel very comfortable here. I like fighting here. He has been training here for over a week, and there you see everybody's been getting Jason Quigley ready. All right, it is time to send it up to the voice of Golden Boy, Jeremiah.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Fantasy Springs Event Center here in Indio, California, USA, Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and DAZN proudly present to you Thursday Night Fights, the NABF Middleweight Championship, our main event of the evening. Sponsored by Tecatho, the official beer of boxing. Broadcasting tonight across the United States at our Golden Boy DAZN regional television affiliates and around the globe on RingTV.com. This championship contest is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the chairman, John Carvelli. Executive Officer Andy Foster, also sanctioned by the North American Boxing Federation. The NABF President is Dwayne Ford, and the Supervisor Misty Morvant. The 3 judges scoring the bout at ringside are Chris McLaury, Daniel Sandoval, and Dr. Lou Morant. And the 3rd man inside the ring at the sound of the bell, our championship referee, veteran Eddie Hernandez Sr. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set. Fight fans, we know you are ready. Make some noise! 2 diamonds, 1 winning tonight. Who will shine the brightest? Damas y caballeros, it's golden time! Introducing to you first, the challenger, fighting under the blue corner, wearing black trunks, and he weighed in at 159 pounds. In 23 professional bouts, his record stands impressive: 20 victories, 14 wins by way of knockout, only 2 defeats and 1 draw. He's a former 2-time middleweight champion, and tonight looks to claim another title. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Nassau, Bahamas, Toriano Johnson! And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing green, white, and black, he officially weighed in at 159.4 pounds. In 16 fights, his record stands perfect. 16 victories, 12 big wins by way of knockout. He is the reigning, defending, and undefeated NABF middleweight champion, the Fighting Pride of Donegal, Ireland, Jason However, you give the final instructions, Eddie Hernandez Sr.
All business between these two. Let's start with the favorite quickly. What does he need to do tonight?
I think he needs to box behind his jab. I think he needs to keep a high guard and use his footwork and his lateral movement. If he hurts Johnson, he can't get greedy. He's got to wear Johnson down. Johnson can be stopped, but you got to work at it round after round after round.
For Johnson to be successful,
close the distance. You need to back quickly up to the ropes and make it an inside fight. Make it a physical fight. That is Johnson's wheelhouse.
75% of the time that Quigley has come into the ring, he has left with a knockout.
He's a boxer puncher. He's got some snap at the end of his punches. Sometimes his technique leaves a little something to be desired.
Well, we heard Roberto Diaz talk about the fact that Johnson had what was supposed to be one of his biggest nights, if not the biggest night of his career. Last December, it didn't happen. Disappointed, certainly.
Oh, not disappointed. He was crushed. He was, because he was so ready and so sure that he was going to score an upset against the KO artist, David Lemieux, on the biggest stage in sports, Canelo Alvarez undercard, Madison Square Garden, 20,000. It was sold out, and the fight doesn't happen.
So far here early on, good aggression by Johnson.
That's what Johnson's about. He's about pressure. He's about the inside game. And he prides himself on smart pressure. He was a 2008 Olympian, represented the Bahamas. He used to train in Cuba with some of the noted Cuban amateur boxing coaches. So there's some craft to his aggression.
Now, he's certainly built very strong. Almost has like a bulldog mentality. Quigley more of a boxer than Johnson.
Yeah, and he's got the athleticism. He's got that height. He's got the legs. I do think he needs to hold his hands a little bit better. Sometimes his elbows are not in front of him. Sometimes they're at his side. Sometimes almost kind of like at his waist, and I don't think that's where a fighter's elbows need to be. Proper hand placement is very important in boxing, particularly when you're fighting somebody as dangerous as Johnson. but sometimes he's comfortable just kind of being on the outside and keeping his hands down by his waist and firing from the hip. But that can get you in trouble against a world-class fighter.
His fight scheduled for 10. We've already seen here in the first round a couple of times Quigley change stances. How often does he do that?
He does whatever feels good for him. He can do it. He's not as good as some fighters, notable fighters, guys like Terrence Crawford. I don't think it's a good idea to keep doing it because Johnson will pick up on that and try to catch him in transition.
We just crossed the top of the hour. Thanks for hanging out with us on Thursday Night Fights. It's been really fun so far in our first two fights, and this is our main event. Quigley and Johnson. A couple of middleweights who have big dreams and big aspirations.
Stop at the bell, guys.
All right, round number one comes to a close. Let's bring in Beto, who has something for us from the red corner. Beto.
Yeah, Jason Quigley used to train in Carson, California with Manny Robles a few years ago. Quigley was still young at that time. He's like, look, I'm getting homesick. I think I've learned enough with Manny. I want to move my camp back to Ireland. That's what he did. Moved back home. He said he just needed to have family around him. Feel like he has a good camp with him. But the thing with him, after that Glenn Tapia fight where he hurt his hand, underwent surgery, you know, he had to recover. He's never really been fully 100% after that. So the development for Quigley has been slow. He's 28 years old right now. You gotta move him, but against who? And because he's across the pond, it's more expensive to bring him back to the United States and fight. It's also harder to figure out what kind of opponent you want. So tonight's matchup against Tureano Johnson is really a chance for Golden Boy to see what do they have here. How does he look against Tureano? Because the last time we fought Freddie Hernandez, that guy was 39 years old. It should not have gone the distance.
And Beto, let's keep in mind that Golden Boy has the star of stars. They have Canelo Alvarez in their camp. So when you're comparing middleweights to somebody, you're going to compare him to the best guy that you have.
Yeah, Canelo Alvarez is a pound-for-pound level fighter. Even if Quigley impresses, wins in impressive fashion in this bout, he couldn't hope to get a shot at Canelo Alvarez. He'd have to still work his way up that ladder. But you know, there's 4 titles out there, and Quigley is ranked in the sanctioning organizations. He's number 5 in the WBC, number 8 in the WBA, and number 14 in the IBF. And I think a victory over a former contender like Johnson, that'll move him up those ranks.
I'm really impressed with Johnson's strength. And he, much like in our last fight, continues to move forward every single second so far here in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, Johnson fights like he looks. I mean, you look at that brow, you look at the determination in his eyes, and you look at the way his body is built, and you know he's a physical fighter.
Right now, you get the feeling that Quigley has started to figure Johnson out just a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like he needs to land something to get some respect from Johnson because it's not a fast pace, and Quigley is letting Johnson get inside. That was a nice right hand there. And I couldn't even tell if that was delivered as a right cross from the orthodox stance or as a hook from the southpaw stance because Quigley is switching so much. But if you don't set a fast tempo against an aging veteran like Johnson, who is 35 years old, he will fight himself into shape. He will catch that rhythm, and once he gets warmed up, he can be a handful.
Let's see who fans at home thought won the first round of this fight. 75% say Quigley. What did you say?
I say Quigley.
Okay.
Yeah, he let Johnson get a little bit too close for my liking, but he still landed the better shots. He was kind of pot-shotting and then spinning out of range.
Good right hand by Quigley. We want you to vote, be a part of it. Interactive at Golden Boy Boxing on Twitter. Vote in between every single round.
I'm a little bit surprised Quigley is as comfortable on the inside with Johnson as he is, but he must feel something. He must feel like he can handle the pressure, that he can handle the physical strength in Johnson's power, and he must feel like he's got better power.
Well, you mentioned also the athleticism, and he's really able to get out of the way of any of the hard shots that Johnson is trying to land.
Yeah, he's got good coordination, good reflex. He's a coordinated athlete.
Good body shots there by Quigley.
Although Johnson is getting warmed up and he's pushing more pressure and throwing his hands a little bit. And I'll be looking at the face of Quigley in like rounds 4 and 5 to see if he's fatigued.
Tecate, bold on the outside, light on the inside.
Welcome back, Thursday Night Fights. Beto, Doug, and the coach here with you, Golden Boy and DAZN. Let's bring in Beto, who is in the blue corner.
Yeah, when I was talking with Tureano Johnson and Andre Rozier before the fight, Rozier said this is a different Tureano. They were supposed to work together for that Lemieux fight, but that got scrapped. So the last fight was the first time together. He said that wasn't the Tureano that we expected. He said it's completely different for this one. Tureano actually fought on the Quigley Glenn Tapia card. He stuck around and watched it, Doug, because he said eventually I knew we were going to fight. I've been watching his last couple. I'm not impressed with much by this kid.
All right, well, 3 words were given to us to describe Tureano Johnson's big left hand as he works Quigley into the corner.
Oh, see those uppercuts I was telling you about?
Aggression, power, and unyielding.
But this is his wheelhouse. If you back to a corner or up against the ropes and he's right in front of you, he's going to rip you with those uppercuts. And he's been looking for the left hook all fight. He grazed Quigley with it in the second round, and now he's landing it.
Tureano Johnson just unrelenting in his pushing forward.
And see, with this grappling, I don't know if that suits Quigley. I really think Quigley's on his best when he's on his toes, and his lateral movement, he's punching on the fly.
I agree. I think Johnson just he's a lot physically stronger than Quigley is. Boy, big uppercuts from Tureano Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson is, even though he's kind of teetering and tottering, that was a great right hand landed by Quigley. Even though Johnson occasionally seems off balance, he's very comfortable on the inside. He's got good inside technique, so he's going to do his best when Quigley is leaning on him. And I don't think that Quigley needs to lean on him, especially this early in the fight. You know, you're not tired.
Well, in the interviews that Quigley did before this fight, he's certainly not overlooking Tureano Johnson. He understands the power that Johnson brings to the table. And you question big right hand by Johnson. You question this game plan by Quigley.
Yes, it just doesn't seem like, this doesn't seem like a Quigley fight. Mauling and brawling on the inside. I think Quigley has some decent speed and pop at the end of his punches, but I think he generates more power with long-range shots. And I know he's got a decent jab when he uses it, but have you seen a jab from Quigley this all?
No, not yet.
I haven't.
Now Johnson just teeing off.
This is Johnson's fight. This is Johnson's fight right here. Oh, nice.
Boy, he is catching Quigley. And Quigley's got to get away from the ropes because he's just getting teed off on.
Yeah, the ropes are your enemy against a pressure fight.
Let him go, Jason.
And if you're an athletic boxer puncher like Quigley, control the distance, utilize the distance, and use your feet, use your legs, your lateral movement to get that distance that you need.
Quigley continues to stay right there in the pocket, exchanging punches with Tureano Johnson, and 3 rounds in the books, and I want to hear what Jason Quigley's corner has to say.
I know it's hard work and it's under pressure, deep breathe. But listen to what I'm going to tell you about this kid. Understand, it's easy, deep breathe, right up. It's easy when you stood in front of him. You've just got to try and put a little bit of distance and get your shots a little bit cleaner, do you understand? Yeah. Right, because when he's in you, he's scoring. Yeah. Right, you're catching him, when you do catch him, he's stumbling. Yeah. But you've got to let him wear himself out, but you've got to let him do it by removing it and him clean. Yeah. Put it down, come on.
All right, let's take a look at some of the replays from round number 3.
And here we have Toriano Johnson swarming Jason Quigley,
Ooh.
measuring him for a beautiful right uppercut, and he doubled up on that punch. 1, 2. Hey, if you can land one, maybe you can land another.
Very impressive.
There's
How
the
much
hook.
power.
It's not just the right uppercut.
That's
That
right.
left hook is a weapon in this fight. That's a combination. Left hook to the ear, right uppercut. And he doubles up on those uppercuts. Sometimes he triples them.
Okay, round number 4.
And even though Quigley had his moments in round 3, I scored round 3 for Toriano Johnson. Soundly outworked Quigley in that round.
Do you think the power from Toriano Johnson has surprised Quigley?
You know, I don't think so. I mean, I think if Quigley was shocked by the power, he'd want to get out of the way of it. I think it's kind of blunt force right now, and he's thinking, you know, I can handle it. I'm going to stay here in the pocket, and I'm going to pick my shots because I think I'm a sharper, faster puncher. But he's playing to Johnson's strengths by languishing on the ropes.
Wow, they are right here in front of us at ringside. Let's bring Beto back in.
Exactly what they expected. Quickly said they knew Toriano was going to come in and smother him. Jason is fighting Toriano's fight right now. That he needs the jab, get away from him. They don't want him clinching. They want him to create space. But this is the kind of fight that they expected. Now, Andre Rozier, for the other side, told me that Toriano was going to get better and stronger in the middle rounds because this is the first time they had a real camp. 4 months in Atlanta, 4 months in Brooklyn, and Andre said he's got that havoc style about him now.
All right, thank you, Beto. And Johnson does appear to be getting stronger.
He's gained momentum. That's why I thought it was a mistake for Quigley not to start the first round faster, either setting a tempo or boxing a fight that would frustrate Toriano, because even though Toriano is 35, he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on that fighter's odometer. And these old guys, if you let them get into their rhythm, you let them fight themselves into shape, as the old-time trainers would say, they can be a handful. And right now, Johnson is a handful for Quigley.
Our Twitter poll on who you, the fan, at home thinks won round 3. Wow, 60% Toriano Johnson. You agree with that?
Yes, I do. And I think Johnson's winning round 4.
Don't punch, don't punch, don't punch.
Well, so far, the fans have Quigley winning the first 2 rounds and Johnson the third. You keep saying he needs to gain respect from Johnson. I just don't think his punches are affecting him, Johnson, to the point that it's keeping him from continuing to come forward.
And I agree with that, but he's standing on the inside. Some people can generate more power with short, compact punches on the inside. Others generate power from the outside. And I think Quigley has more power with, like, say, his straight right when it's set up by a jab. When he's punching at arm's length, there's more torque, there's more snap at the end of his shots, but he hasn't done that because he's staying in the pocket with a pressure fighter.
Good combination from Johnson, and then Quigley, a nice comeback. Another action-packed round here in our main event. Let's go over to the corner now, Toriano Johnson.
Listen. Okay. Don't make this harder than it gotta be. Never have I seen in a fight where we can totally dominate the situation and we just work smart. Okay? When you use a jab, you can't set up. You can't run right into him though. Don't neglect the jab. Jab your way in, touch him to the body, and push him and bully him a little bit. Don't let him try to hold on to you when you're fucking him up, okay? Keep shooting that stick up and down, touch him around the sides, and give me some pivot steps. You haven't done one pivot yet, have you? Yeah, we haven't done it yet.
All right, some highlights from the last round. What'd you make with?
He trains Danny Jacobs, a top middleweight. He's moving up to the super middleweight. The last man to beat Toriano Johnson, Sergey Derevyanchenko, had Andre Rozier in his corner. So Rozier knows middleweights. Asking Johnson to pivot and add a little more craft on the inside, not just rely on power and volume.
Thursday Night Fights. The great Rosie Perez just weighed in. These two are taking and throwing some hard shots. Thank you, Rosie. Hope
He's a real hardcore fan.
one of my favorite movies of all time. White Man.
Remember her on Jeopardy?
Yeah.
That was the best.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Johnson is fighting his fight, and he is landing some hellacious right hands. Even when he was back in the corner, he was measuring Quigley for those chopping right. Punching away on the inside. I just don't know why he's not boxing.
Well, we all know better. I just don't understand. And take the shots
I'm baffled.
that he's taking.
It's not going to sound PC, but were terrific boxers, but they also loved a good. And this is not PC either. The great Billy Conn was an Irish-American former light heavyweight champ, Hall of Famer, was outboxing the great Joe Louis. Just boxing and dropping combinations and getting out of the way, and then he decided to stand and trade with the Brown Bomber. And guess what happened? He got bogged out. The sports writers asked him later, why did you do that? I think he said, again, not PC. I'm paraphrasing here. What's the point of being Irish if you can't be stupid? And I'm not saying Irish people are stupid, everybody, just so you know.
You're paraphrasing and quoting it from a fighter, to be clear.
I'm just saying there is a tradition with Irish boxers where they can box their butts off, but if somebody challenges them with some machismo, challenges them physically, they will stand in there and scrap away, even if it's to their detriment.
Well, clearly, Turiano Johnson has challenged Quigley, and Quigley has responded by fighting Johnson's fight thus far, as we are just about halfway through this fight scheduled for 10 rounds.
Yeah, we've got phone booth warfare, battling it out in the trenches. It's a battle of attrition. It's more durable.
All right. To his corner.
All right, listen to me. Listen to me. All right, do you understand what I'm telling you? Yeah. That's what you got to do. But listen, you got a 1-2 hold. Lean on him and work him. Because Jason, listen. Trust me, he's 35 years old. You're 29. But you've got to stop getting it. You've got to keep your for 1 minute of the round. Do you understand? Deep breathe. Relax, get your shots, but stop him from work. Do you understand? So sit on him, keep on his chest, but don't give him the shots.
Oh, that is
right,
so good
on,
listening to that corner.
Come on.
Clearly his Quigley is doing. All right, round number 6. Quigley and Johnson, our main event here on Thursday Night Fights. So pleased you could join us as we approach the bottom of the hour.
Ooh, you know, we saw that pivot that Andre Rozier was asking Johnson to do, and it opened up a 3-punch combination while Quigley's back was to the ropes.
One thing that Quigley has not had Johnson do whatsoever. Oh.
Johnson is in his rhythm right now. He is fully warmed up.
Oh, big left hand.
And I think he's hurt Quigley.
Quigley is rocked. Quigley is rocked.
And it's Johnson boxing from a southpaw. One
combination after another from Turiano Johnson.
And Johnson is not just coming straight forward against Quigley right here. And he'll rip off his punches. And he's at his best when he puts those punches together.
Remember, Quigley is undefeated. He has 12 knockouts.
And he's looking worse for wear right now. He's looking very fatigued, very sluggish, almost sleepwalking in there.
Well, he's getting beat up. He is absolutely getting beat up by Toriano Johnson.
And I think it's pride holding him up right now because Toriano's putting a lot of punches and a lot of damage on him.
Now, Toriano told us,
beating the body.
I should not be an underdog. I'm the better fighter. And he has shown it every single step of the way since this fight started.
And we're seeing a technically sharper, more crafty version of Toriano in this round. It's not just pressure, it's not just volume. He's placing his punches well. He's being economical and accurate, but these are hard, sharp shots.
You know, we're being told the comedy box through 5 an edge of 129 to 126. That shocks me.
It looks like Quigley's in danger of going down soon. I mean, he's cut now over his right eye. It's an ugly cut, and he needs to see these shots coming to evade.
And Johnson is just teeing off. Another big right hand lands, left hand lands. And Johnson is doing anything he wants to do at this point of the fight.
Quigley's trying to rally here, but it's like he's fighting on muscle memory. He seems checked out upstairs. But he remains game. Like I say, that pride is fierce.
And this fight will go to a 7th round. Another good round by Toriano Johnson. Well, take a look. Toriano Johnson just beat his personal best record for jabs landed in a fight. His previous high, Doug, was 9. He's 13.
So
what does that say?
Rozier's teaching him some boxing finesse, some of the finer points of the sport. It's not just pressure. It's not just bombs away. He's adding some wrinkles to the game, the brutal game of Toriano Johnson.
He's about to give up. You can make him give up, but you got to stop being Mr. Nice Guy. No play, no games in here.
No play, no games.
Look at me. Stay on him with the sharp jab, take him to the body.
All right.
And when you hit.
Well, he just said Quigley's about to give up.
Yeah.
But you've got to stop being Mr. Nice Guy.
He doesn't look nice right here.
Yeah, I was going to say, if that's Mr. Nice Guy, I don't want to see the nasty Toriano Johnson.
Boom. Straight left out of the southpaw stance.
So we go to round number 7, and Jason Quigley is absolutely in trouble. Plenty of reaction to that tweet. And now Johnson
stalking out of the southpaw stance, and he's popping a stiff jab. And he's not just warmed up and heated up, he's confident in there, and he's relaxed at the same time.
Just like we saw in our co-main event, in the shocking upset by Leonardo Baez, we're seeing the same type of performance, but a really good, solid boxing performance by Toriano Johnson.
Let me tell you something. Golden Boy puts their undefeated fighters in tough. There's a developmental period for a couple of years, and you get to a certain point, a certain age, a certain maturity, a certain number of fights, and it's like, okay, training wheels are off. Kick gloves are off. We're going to put you in there with a beast. Well, and we're going to see what you really got.
That's how Oscar fought.
Exactly.
He fought the very best in the world.
Good point.
Toriano Johnson continues to tee off on Quigley. And I think you're right. He is standing on muscle memory alone.
And he looks fatigued. He looks beat up. But he's pushing the Punisher back into the ropes, and he's putting hands on him. There's no leverage.
There's no leverage.
Yeah,
there's no power in the punches.
He's listless, yeah, but he's trying. It's just sheer willpower from Quigley right now.
Even if he catches Johnson at this point, there's no power behind the punches for him to be effective at all.
And this is a guy who was was known for his speed and athleticism, and that's gone now. Now it's just spirit. Now it's just pride.
Well, this is going to be a very disappointing performance by Jason Quigley unless he can come up with something, some miraculous knockout here over the course of the next 6 to 9 minutes. Let's bring Beto back in.
About the speed and athleticism, it doesn't look like it's that from Quigley. We've called most of his early fights, and Emilio Sanchez used to train with him at the Rock Gym in Carson. He's here ringside. Emilio said, Beto, that's not the Jason that we knew a couple years ago. He's completely changed his style, in his opinion, for the better, but right now it is worry time in that corner. His sister is standing straight ahead at ringside. Security trying to we're seeing right now. She ain't going down, and his girlfriend is in the corner. Everybody is trying to reel on Quigley, but he looks dead tired.
Well, he certainly does. And it looked like Quigley just talked a little trash as Turiona Johnson was walking away. That, we believe, is Jason Quigley's sister being asked to sit down.
Keep your chin down when you're swinging. You got your chin
Let's
right
listen
in
into the
there.
right corner.
Keep it down and aim low. You'll get this kid, he'll start to gas. I know you're tired, but he's tired and doing nothing now. He's got a lot of burst. Oh, the sit on him. Don't give him any distance. You got 8, 9, 10, you got 3 rounds, and you need to win.
Instruction. Completely different story.
That's a good question. I think there should be more concern with stopping the fight just to save their guy.
Turiona Johnson, and he cannot wait to start this. Bottom of the hour. This.
Like I said, I'm not trying to promote the fight or anything. I'm just saying that as a boxing fan who's watched both these guys over the years, this was a dangerous fight for Quigley.
Even though we work for Golden Boy in the Zone, you and I show up, they don't tell us anything. We call them fights down the middle.
That's right.
And if they told me to do that, I wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
Here you can see Quigley takes another stiff, short right. Oh, big right hand, connecting, then an uppercut by Johnson. We're seeing a fighter that's seeing everything coming against a fighter who is absolutely exhausted and has nothing left.
Yeah, Johnson is the ring general in there right now, and he's not just swarming and mauling Quigley, he's the better boxer. In fact, in some respects, Johnson is now boxing the way I expected to see Quigley box, or thought that Quigley had to box in order to win this fight.
And now Johnson is staying on, just like his corner told him. You've got to stop being Mr. Nice Guy. Finish him. He is tired and he is ready to give up. CompuBox, Johnson has a look at this 113 to 51 edge and punches landed in the last 3 rounds, Doug.
That sounds about right. And obviously, Johnson has won the last 3 rounds. In fact, on my scorecard, he's won the last 5 rounds. I only scored the first 2 rounds for Quigley.
Quigley's style has changed to just leaning on Turiano. And Turiano backing up and connecting and going right back in. Backing up and connecting, going right back in.
You can hear the difference in the punches.
Oh, those uppercuts have been incredibly forceful and accurate.
It's amazing that Quigley's still in there swinging. I mean, his heart can't be questioned.
Well, he is absolutely gassed, and
this guy's done. You are keeping him in this fight by not being aggressive. You hear me? Do you hear me? Take a deep breath. All right, listen to me. Look at me, goddammit. Don't you even act like you ain't got it ready to finish him off. You hear what I say? This man is done. Don't make them give you shit. You hear what I say? Don't make them give this shit to him, champ. You going home with that belt. I want you to work smart, keep his ass on the rope, and roll and shoot. You understand when I say roll and shoot? You gonna do it? Okay, let's go.
Boy, that is a corner if I ever saw a corner.
That's a stern taskmaster.
He is telling his guy, finish your opponent and stop messing around. And this from a guy who has dominated for 8 rounds. But greatness comes in a lot of different packages, and that man in that corner knows greatness. Now big right hands, and another from Tureano Johnson.
You know what I'm looking at mainly with Tureano Johnson. And it's not,
great combinations.
Yeah, I expected
Oh, look at the quick hands.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the reflexes. I'm looking at his legs, because in his last fight, a lot of us who watched that fight were thinking, okay, he's 35 years old, he's turned the corner. He's at the point where it's diminishing returns from now on. He's on the slide because he looked like he was fighting underwater. It was like slow motion for him. And in this fight, we see the reflexes. We see he's got his legs under him. And we see he's not just throwing a lot of punches. They're fast, sharp punches with a lot of leverage behind them.
Well, there you see the fan Twitter scorecard. And Johnson clearly in control for 8 rounds.
That's exactly the scorecard that I have.
This is so impressive watching him just tee off. And he's not throwing wild punches. He's throwing great combinations. And Quigley is, all he can do at this point is just lean in and try to stay on his feet.
I mean, I know Quigley has a lot of pride. I know his trainer does. He's part of a boxing trainer legacy in England. I know the management of Quigley have a lot of pride, and they love Jason. But I think it would behoove everybody, especially Jason, that maybe they keep him on the stool after this round, because it doesn't look like he has it in him to turn this fight around. And what's the point of just more punishment?
You're right. It does not look like he has a punch that could knock out Johnson. And at this point, that's the only way he can win.
Right, and so what the moral victory of not being knocked out, of going the distance. I know that's important to fighters and all, but so is their health. Sometimes you got to live to fight another day, and that's just part of the game. Johnson's been there, and I thought that Johnson's trainer should have thrown in the towel before the 12th round against Sergey Derevyanchenko, because that was a brutal battle of attrition. And in the final rounds of that fight, Johnson took a beating. So, I mean, he's been on the opposite end of that stick, and whenever you see it, it's unpleasant, because these guys they give so much already.
That one really hurt him. That one really hurt him.
What was the punishment?
It was a body shot. And
that's smart.
And see, he's really hurt right now. Yeah. He can't even stand up.
The ropes might be keeping him up.
Boy, that body shot was stiff. All right, Jason Quigley's corner. Let's go over there right now.
Look at back.
All right,
All right, we got to see something good, all right? Because it's taking a lot of clean punches, okay? All right. Okay, go. One, stop it.
All right, that's going to be it. And probably the right thing to do.
Yes. And you know why? Because when the ringside physician was talking to Jason, Jason was unresponsive. And Dominic Ingle recognized that and said, okay, that's it. And honestly, I think they could have pulled the plug after the 7th or 8th round, but I'm glad there's not a 10th round of this fight, because the only thing that would have happened is that for 3 minutes of that round, Jason would have got beat up.
So a big-time upset. It was a dominant performance. It was a great boxing display, a great corner display, and you have to give credit, Doug, where credit is due. Tureano Johnson told us what he was going to do. He told us he was a different fighter than earlier, and he proved it in resounding fashion.
You know what? I didn't doubt him. He's a man of his word. He's a battle-tested veteran, and now he wins the NABF belt, which will give him an automatic top 10 ranking in the WBC. In fact, Quigley had number 5. Maybe Tureano gets ranked that high.
Well,
so he's back.
It's hard to believe somebody beating him up, but I know every fight is different, and when you're motivated, it changes how you perform. But that was an exquisite, tough performance by Tureano Johnson tonight.
And it wasn't just about heart and aggression. There was a lot of craft. You saw his experience come out, and you saw some great corner work by Andre Rozier. Like I said, a world-class trainer.
All right, let's look at that body shot in the 9th round that I think was ultimately the shot that did him in. There it is right there.
Yeah, right to the solar plexus. Wow. You got a good eye. See, I missed it. I was on my soapbox. I was preaching and I missed it. So there it was. Yeah, that was a beautiful shot.
And then the gorgeous combination, just completely measured. And then ultimately his corner said, that's enough, and called the fight, and it was the right thing to do. Sometimes it's about protecting your fighter and not letting them go out there and take more punishment. And there you see the face of Jason Quigley, and he just got beat up tonight.
Yeah. Was Johnson just doing push-ups in the ring?
I believe he was.
Yeah, he took a page from Bernard Hopkins' book. All right, Johnson, you're not that old. You're 35. I think Bernard was 46 when he did that.
Well, we saw 2 fights tonight here, Doug, that not only did they shock us as far as the odds were concerned, but I think they shocked us in how good both fighters were. More on that in a second. Time to send it up to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee, Eddie Hernandez Sr., has stopped the bout into the 9th round at the advice of the red corner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your winner by KO and new NABF middleweight champion, the Fighting Pride of Nassau, Bahamas, Tureano Johnson.
Well, he is confident. He told us he was going to get the job done, and he did it in resounding, impressive fashion here tonight in India. All right, let's send it up to the ring, and Beto is with the winner.
You hear your song, you're excited. Tureano, you told us in the back before the fight, you respected Quigley, but you knew that you had more in it. Why were you so effective tonight?
I understand that, you know, as a fighter, I'm a son, I'm also a husband and a father. And most of all, I'm a Bahamian. That's my nationality. And I come inside this ring with so much on my back. You don't know half of what I've been through. But guess what? Y'all gonna see that struggle behind me now. Thank the Almighty God. Oh yeah, before everything, hold the chairs. Quigley had a victory party, and somebody sent me a clipping saying that he's gonna have a victory party, and he didn't even invite me. You know that pissed me off, man. But hey, all is good. Quigley's a dangerous fighter, trust me. Whoever's getting ready to fight him better come ready, because this boy, he got hot. I threw the kitchen sink and a car behind me, and the boy just would not quit. Well, no, you did quit, just that you just wouldn't stop. Nah, man, you know you quit now.
The referee stopped the fight.
Well, the referee looked
I
good on your best.
have respect for you, so you have respect
yeah,
for
man,
me.
no, you're tough.
All right, you're tough too, all right? And you deserve the victory tonight. All right, I congratulate you,
Thank
and I
you,
wish you
Dave.
all the very best in the future, all right?
Tureano, congratulations. Go enjoy your own victory party. What's next for you?
Well, you know, I'm not here to just take punches and to give punches. I'm here to get another strap, the big strap. I'm here to be a world champion. And look here, whoever out there got those belts, and I know them. Woo! Ooh, I want a Charlo. I want a Canelo. I want a Donnie. I want a Sergey. I want all of them. Every single one out there, I want you. And guess what? Come prepared because Quigley said I needed 110%. Man, y'all don't worry, 100% I bring it. Just know I coming and I coming to bring it hard.
Turiano Johnson gets the victory tonight. Congratulations, Turiano.
Hey, I just want to thank my Bahamas, my wife, Natanya and Tatiana, my church back at home, the UFMI, with Apostle Farman Ferguson, and all those in the Bahamas who rooting for me to pull it off. You know, I had a tough struggles, a lot of setbacks, a lot of injuries, for Christ's sake. Y'all don't know how.
What was hurt?
Well, I can't tell you that right now. I might get in trouble.
Well, then why are you telling us there's injuries?
Well, at least I had injuries. Shoot, I ain't got to tell you what it is. But hey, I'm here. I'm 100%. My training camp was awesome. Thank my coach, Andre Rozier, Terrence, Lenny, and the whole crew. Man, where Baz?
There it is. Turiano, congratulations. Everybody in your corner.
Yeah.
Jason, what? Oh, wait.
You can't be cutting me off like that. And also, I got to give a shout out to my fitness coach back in Atlanta, my Cuban coach.
Everybody gets a shout out on your corner. Huh? Atlanta.
I got to give respect, man.
You do.
Man, Nicholas Isidore from Cuba back at the X3 Sports, man. Listen, thank everybody who's been rooting for me. Thanks, California, for having me here.
And thanks, Jonathan Coachman.
Hey, I'm a golden boy. Thanks for the Zone for hosting the show.
Everybody.
Thanks for everybody.
What about me?
All right. That's going to be enough from the ring. Everything getting out of control there. Thank you to Beto. Thank you to both fighters. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're not going to do push-ups, but we are going to wrap things up from a really fun, surprising night here at Fantasy Springs. We'll be right back.